Alrighty, what's going on, folks? So we're doing some piano tuning today, and I thought I would show you guys an interesting method that's going to help you out during piano tuning. So anyway, let's take a closer look here. So right now we are on B3, which is this note here. And I've already tuned it to match E4, which is this note here. So sometimes piano tuners have a rough time trying to hit that hot spot. And what I mean by a hot spot is where the B3 and the E4 are in tune with each other along with themselves. So I learned a trick that you guys might find useful called harmonic references. So what I'm going to do, if you're tuning equal temperament, this will be especially useful, is you want to push your B3 and your E4 keys down silently without playing them. And then you go to your B5. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, so I'm going to do it again. So that B5 that I just played rapidly like staccato is my harmonic reference note. So you probably thought to yourself, well, which notes have that harmonic capability? Well, B4, this B5 is the fourth partial of B3. And then with E4, it's your third partial. So these two notes, as you can tell, I already tuned the right string to match E4. So basically what happened here is I ran into a little problem. Sometimes you just can't tell where you are. So I learned this useful trick that you might find useful is when you're tuning B4 to E3, you can play the two notes silently, but then just use this note here. So what you want to listen for is beats. So you obviously know, if you guys don't know what a beat is, it is a pulsation between the two strings because of their different frequencies. So if I go ahead and push these two down again and play the B5, I'm listening for beats. In this case, we got none. So that means B3 and E4 are in tune with each other along with themselves. So I thought you guys would, and also too, it would probably work well with this one. So let's try it with the E3 here. So there's another good example there. So that's another harmonic reference we're going to show in this video is E5. So B5 works with, so obviously it will work with this one. So you obviously won't hear it as well as you will because E3, which is this note, that's all the way down in the bass section. So of course you're not going to hear it as well because it's further away. Now if it was like the Leicester, which obviously E3 would be in the mid-range, then you are going to hear it. You're going to hear it a lot more clearly, and it's going to be a lot more crisp. So let's go ahead and do our next reference here, which is going to be our E4. So I'm going to show you how this one works. So our first reference note we're going to use is E4, which is this note right here. Now, if you can't tell whether or not the note is in tune with itself, or if the strings are in tune with each other, you can use a harmonic reference to double check your work. Now, with E4, you can use either E4, which is an octave above. Well, actually, I meant E5, so sorry about that. So with E4, if you are unable to tell, if you're having a hard time telling whether or not the two strings are in tune with each other, then you can use a harmonic reference. which would either be your third, second, fourth, sometimes fifth, or even the sixth partial. So obviously if you're tuning your temperament, and the piano is reasonably still in tune, like within 10 cents, then you can use harmonic references during a correction procedure, which is what we're doing right now. So let's go ahead and use our E4, which is this note here. So this will be our constant note. And I'm going to give you guys the reference pitches that I use sometimes, which I will now be doing during a tuning procedure or corrections to check my work. So I'm going to push my E4 down without playing it. So these are coincident partials I can use to double check my work if you're doing equal temperament tuning. So we're going to use our E5, which is our harmonic, which is your second partial of E4, as my harmonic reference. So here, all three strings are in tune with each other because there is no beat there. So if we play the note by itself, same thing. So now we're going to use a different reference. So we're going to use our A3, and E5 is going to be our third partial of A3. So this is a little bit of piano tuning theory, but it's also a useful trick for piano tuners. So let's go ahead and push our A3 key down without playing it. And now we're going to play our E5 and let go. Not sure if you guys heard that on the camera or not, but A3 is in tune with itself, and it's in tune with its coincident partials. So anyway, listen again. Net E5 would be my harmonic reference to use for A3, and you can also use it along with another note. So our E4, we're going to use that note again along with the A3, and now listen to the result. Because the A3 and E4 have the same coincident partial, just a different one. So A3, E5 would actually be A3's third partial. So that E5 will beat 3 times before the A3 crests again. Just like with E4, it would beat twice before E4 crests again. So E5 is the second partial of E4, while it's the third partial of A3. So there's a bit of a relationship there, and I don't know if you guys understand this part or not, but there's a lot of different notes that actually have the same partial, just in a different part of its crest. So this E5, let's try it with A2. So you can hear it fairly well because the A2 is actually in tune with itself and the rest of the notes on the piano. So watch. So now we're going to do another harmonic reference here with A2, A3, E4, and A4. So let's go ahead and do the octave here, and we'll see if we're in tune. So yes, even though our A2 is down in the bass and our A3 is up in the mid-range, they're still close enough that you can actually hear the A2 vibrating at 220 cycles per second, which A3 is the second partial, by the way, of A2. So now we're going to do our E4. So you're obviously not going to hear it as well because it's further away. So sometimes other partials, like the third partial there, you can still hear it, but not quite as well. But it's still very useful to use the notes coincident partials to check your work. And same with A440 here to A2. So obviously you heard that one pretty well. So it's our A3 and A440, or A220 and A440 that work best for this A2 down here. So anyway, I hope you guys found this reference video useful. Feel free to share it with your friends and share it with other piano tuners and technicians who might find this trick useful. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this reference video, and I hope you guys learned a little bit here about this useful trick that I just discovered, and we will see you in another video.